And hello, movie lovers, and welcome to the show. With me, I have my good friend and awesome co-host as well, Alex. He's returned to the podcast. I have missed him. I've been wanting to do a review with him. I'm just glad that we actually picked the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie to actually be back again with him. So, with further ado, let's do this. Hey, man, what's up? What you been up to?
Hi, John. So good
Hey.
to be back. I just been up with life. Life is hard. It's really hard. No one told me. No, people told me all the time that it was hard, but you never believe them.
Until
Like
life actually happens, right?
you always have some hope. Like, oh, well, that's just because you're old. That's why life's hard. It's not going to be hard for me. I'm a
No,
stud. And then
not at
no,
all.
I am not a stud. Apparently, the life is very hard. I would like to switch it to easy mode now.
Same here. But
How
speaking of changing things to easy mode and hard mode, we're actually reviewing a little bit of a 90s classic for the both of us. And that's the 1995 Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat!
Okay. But anyways, I just remember the nostalgia of me going to the movie theaters with my friends because I remember going in that long ass line. I was in fourth grade. I'll never forget it. It was me, my mom. I felt bad for her.
Yeah.
Then my mom, then my friend's mom was also with us too to go see Mortal Kombat. At that time, you had House Party playing, House Party 4, and I think Showgirls was playing at the same time. So it was like a packed house. So
That was a year for movies. House
yes, it
Party
was.
4.
And believe it or not, I remember whenever House Party 4 was actually sold out.
I didn't even know they made 3 more. I thought it was just House Party. There's more?
Yeah, there's more than one movie.
I know they made a remake.
That's actually, you should see my trailer reaction when I was ranting on that. But anyways, but yeah, I definitely enjoy this. To be honest with you, this has nostalgia written all over it. This movie came out, of course, August 18th, 1995, had a budget of $20 million and made $122.2 million at the box office. So it's just spinning Benjamins. It's just raining money.
My introduction to this movie was through my oldest sister, Cheryl. She played the Mortal Kombat games. She was really good at the Mortal Kombat. Like I was only 2 at the time when this movie came out. I was a baby. I was a baby.
Baby.
But my sister Cheryl, I guess, went to the theater as much as possible just so she can see this movie. And then once I became of age, as the honor goes, you have to watch Mortal Kombat when you come of age in my household. That it was it still is one of my all-time favorite movies. I try to watch it at least twice a year. Like it needs to happen. It always makes me feel better. Anytime I'm sick, I put on Mortal Kombat. If I'm in a bad mood, I put on Mortal Kombat.
Okay.
Yeah, I love this movie so much. It's in my top 3 movies of all time.
Wow.
Yeah, that's how much I love this movie. It's great. I'm so excited to talk about it.
Same here. And, the thing that I remember was going to your local gas station and they actually had the Mortal Kombat video game. And I would go on ahead and play that for hours. And then even when I was sick, I would actually play Mortal Kombat on my Super Nintendo when I was supposed to be sleeping. But I didn't care. But, I definitely have to say it didn't age well. But I will say that I definitely still enjoy this. Part of the kid in me is still there. And he's getting up. The special effects did not age well. But
no, of course not. No.
The special effects didn't age well. But underneath the surface of it all, it's I'm going to be honest with you. The plot line still works. The way the characters meet up still works. The one-liners is just hilarious as well. But yeah, it's just Mortal Kombat. It's a martial arts tournament that is held once every generation between representatives of the realms of the Earth and Outworld, convinced by the Elder Gods and looming invasion of the Earth by Outworld. If Outworld achieves 10 consecutive victories, the Outer World Emperor will invade the Conqueror, the Earth Realm. They have already won 9 times because the guy is a douchebag. Liu Kang movie star Johnny Cage and Special Forces officer Sonya Blade are chosen by Raiden, the god of thunder and defender of Earthrealm, to prevent Outworld from winning the 10th straight tournament. So I definitely love this, how it actually starts off where you actually have Liu Kang's brother.
I love this movie so much. Sorry.
I can tell. You're actually holding it in your hand. That's always nice.
It's on Blu-ray. That means it's special. I don't. Is there one higher than Blu-ray? Is that 4K?
4K is higher than Blu-ray.
I can't afford that, ladies and gentlemen. If I could, I would have it. So this is what I have.
I agree. But yeah, here's the thing. I like how it starts off with, of course, you have Liu Kang's brother. Basically, he's fighting Shang Tsung, and he winds up losing. And then that's whenever Liu Kang winds up waking up from his nightmare because he lost his brother. And of course, you always have that one line: "Your soul is mine."
Your brother's soul is mine.
Thank you. You do it 10 times better than I do.
I legit will practice that multiple times a year. It's just every once in a while you got to say it. Just you got to practice your inner Shang Tsung. What's his name? Kerry Tagawa? That's Kerry Tagawa. Yes, Kerry Tagawa.
Yeah.
Oh, what a man. What a man. Great
actor, in my opinion, when you come down to this. But, I like the fact that you actually have some layers to this character. You actually understand why he's going into this tournament and why he's there to actually fight Shang Tsung. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it just basically doesn't fit. But the fact that they put him in there, I think it fits really well. It becomes a revenge story.
Yeah. I thought it was cool because if I remember correctly, when they made this movie, this is right after the first Mortal Kombat game, that it didn't really, the first Mortal Kombat game, they had like little blips of story once you beat it with a certain character. But other than that, there wasn't really much for the people making the movie to go on, if I'm remembering correctly.
Based on the arcade itself, if you read that long dialogue, if you don't put coins in, you actually see a prologue being played out.
Oh, cool.
On the arcade game.
Okay.
And nobody read that crap. I know. I mean,
skip.
Right?
Skip. I want to kill.
Exactly. But this was made for us as kids. They knew the target audience. They knew that they weren't wanting to just be. Basically, they knew that we just wanted a tournament style movie, and that was it. We didn't care about the premise. We didn't care about the acting, the dialogue, or anything like that. We just wanted to see our favorite fighters on the big screen for the very first time.
Yeah. Exactly. And what I about that opening scene, like, what a way to start a movie. Just someone being murdered. And it wasn't even violent. Like, it's not nearly as violent as the game, which honestly I don't care that much about. I get kind of like grossed out with violence, but I just think that that was such a way to set the tempo, even though you don't see anything happening, just the sound effects that go with it. When Shang Tsung steps on Chan's spine, I assume it's his spine, you just hear the cracking. I'm like, oh, ouch, that hurts. And then immediately cuts to Liu Kang's just naked body. Well, just his shirt. Just you see all his muscles. And I'm like feeling a little insecure because I'm like, this dude has muscles everywhere.
Right. He's buff. This dude is Liu Kang.
He did push-ups.
He did more than push-ups. He did crunches. He did the workout regimen for this role.
Push-ups did him.
Yes. And by the way, he was also buff in Beverly Hills Ninja with Chris Farley because he played Chris Farley's brother.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I got to watch that one.
Dude, it is such a great film. And Chris Rock's in it and stuff like it's such a great and funny film.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I'm adding that to my list.
Good. Let me know what you think of it. But yeah, I thought that he was believable as Liu Kang. I believe that he was Liu Kang, and that was the most I think that we got close to a video game. Street Fighter 2, not so much. But the only good thing was, of course, was Bison. That was like the only good thing that we got out of Street Fighter.
Yeah.
that I have to say.
Just ignore everything else.
Exactly. But okay, then you actually have this other opening part where you actually have the opening scene for Sonya Blade and Jax. And Jax is pretty much sidelined because he doesn't get introduced until like the second video game anyways. And so I like how they tease Jax, and then after that you go on ahead. I'm going to call it Survivor Island because that's what it looks like to me. So basically, Sonya gets on the ship because of the fact that Kano winds up making a deal with Shang Tsung to fight against Sonya because he wound up killing Sonya Blade's partner. And so I like how they do the red eye where in the dark shadows and to signify that's
cool scene.
Yes.
He's just standing there. That's it, baby. Come to Papa. I memorize a lot of the lines. Oh, that was such a great Sonya Blade. One of my favorite heroines. That's the right word, right?
Yeah, hero.
Hero. Forget it. Favorite hero. One of my favorite heroes. Female heroes. She's just so cool. Like her introduction where she's just going through the mosh pit with her shotgun, just banging everyone out the way. I'm like, this lady does not care.
And that's what I like. Yeah.
And we forgot to mention Johnny Cage, his introduction, which was
we're gonna get to that. Because that's something I want to talk about too, was the introduction to Johnny Cage, because Johnny Cage is hands down my favorite Mortal Kombat character.
Okay,
in the Mortal Kombat. So we are going to get to him. And I like you said, I did skip that one part, so we're going to go back to it in a minute. But I do like the fact that in the 90s, you don't see a lot of strong, independent women who are basically not dazzle in distress. She played a powerful woman who would actually kill to get to Kano. And I believed it. I believe she was out for revenge and blood, just like how Liu Kang. So both of them are after revenge. So you have two characters after revenge. So it becomes like a revenge story. Then you have the smart assy Johnny Cage movie star who's just in it for himself to make a comeback. So he's like the Steven Seagal and Van Damme of this universe, and it just works.
That was like such an epic scene. He just slowly just takes off the glasses. Let's dance.
And this is the part where you fall. And
where do you get these guys?
Come on.
I'm like, that was great. I loved it. They just kept him as a movie star. He was funny. He was definitely. That's what I like about Johnny Cage is surface level. He is a douche. Like on a lot more, a little bit, probably deep down too. He's a douche, but like really in his heart, he is a good person that just wants to be the best. He genuinely wants to be the best.
He wants to be the best of the best.
Best of the oh god, the best of the best.
Which is another review that you and I did, but
reference, ladies and gentlemen.
Right, but I like the fact that he plays into that narrative of this douchey guy who's self-centered and he's egotistical. And then I like how he goes over to Liu Kang, and he goes, "Oh, you're here for my luggage? Here, thank you. Here, let me help you with that." And
you carry the bags. Liu Kang is just like, "No, I got it." They just throws it in the river. I loved that they made Liu Kang a bit sassy.
Me too.
I wasn't expecting that, and I'm like, no, that's a good character trait. Liu Kang deserves to be a little sassy. He is the chosen one. He is the main hero, but we need more main heroes that have some sassiness to them.
Definitely, because I think that you need that balance of, like, I'm not going to take any crap from you because of the fact that I'm here to avenge my brother, and you're just getting in the way of what I'm trying to do.
I ain't playing games. I know this is based off a game, but this is not a game.
We're not playing games here. But yeah, then you have orders the creature reptile to prevent Princess Katana, the Emperor's adopted daughter, from allying with the Earth Warriors. But before we get to that, we actually have another thing that happens on the boat, which is also the introduction to Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Like, this is the perfect WWE style introduction to their characters.
That was so cool. Just the way the music just kind of picks up, and he just slowly opens the door, just Scorpion has the white eyes and all. Oh, that was a beautiful scene. They should have gave that scene an Oscar. People are gonna scoff at this. People will scoff at me for saying that. It was like that was a beautiful introduction. No words
The
were spoken.
cinematography coming out of the ice at the bottom of Sub-Zero's feet was not fire. It was ice, but it was great.
Such a fan. I get so hyped up when that happens. Just so many butterflies just start flying around. Scorpion and Sub-Zero. I'm like, they're just so cool. Their costumes were so basic looking, but they still looked cool.
They were basic, but they also served a purpose, I think. I think it fit in with the world that they're trying to tell. Yeah. Even though they came from Party City or probably
it was 1995.
But here's the thing. They were believable enough for us that we loved it anyways, and we didn't care. And, even with the Scorpion fight that we're going to get to in a few minutes with Johnny Cage and stuff like that, whenever they go into the Elseworld setting, I thought to myself about the costuming and stuff like that, but I'm like, you know what? It still works, and I don't care.
He makes it look cool.
He does. It really does. And then, okay, I like how Shang Tsung basically introduces Sub-Zero and Scorpion, where he goes, they never got along before, but here they are.
Deadliest of enemies.
They're the deadliest of enemies. But they're under my power. But yeah, it's like the trailer guy introducing these guys to us as the audience for the very first time, and we're going apeshit in the theaters, just screaming our brains out.
Scorpion and Sub-Zero, oh my god!
And then here's my parents. Why did I come here? But but anyways, but yeah, I thought it was very iconic. Then of course I like how they wind up freezing one of the guards just to show what happens if you mess with them.
Props to that during the banquet scene. Yeah. He's like, let's have a demonstration. And that one ninja was like, nah, I'll step up to Sub-Zero. And he just starts flexing on. Yeah. He starts, I'm like, hey, this guy's about to whoop some ass right now. Let's go, random guard number 4. And then he immediately gets frozen and blown up.
And I like how Johnny Cage is like, what the hell is going on here? Like, he goes, what? And nobody is making any sense here. Liu Kang knows what's going on. And he goes, it's just like how just like my path. What path? I'm not going for forbidden.
What legends?
What legends?
Poor Johnny Cage. He was just like so confused by everything. And I loved that.
Me too.
He still brought it. R.I.P. to guard number 4. He was just like, shoot, I'm about to get a promotion after I whoop Sub-Zero's ass. he went flying with that kick. The only thing that really, really bugged me about that scene was Shang Tsung said, flawless victory. No, never mind. It was a flawless victory. Never mind. Forget it. Retracted. I was like,
I didn't hear nothing.
That's for later. That's for later.
Right.
That's for later. That wasn't that fight.
That was a flawless victory on that part.
That was a flawless victory.
But I like how they do that. And then you get into this other thing where, they're lost. They don't know where anything's at. And then, of course, you also have the introduction to Raiden, which is also played by the actor who played in Highlander. And I just thought this was the perfect person to play Raiden. He embodied Raiden in the 90s, and it works. It really works for that.
He was so cool. And they also made him kind of sassy too, which I liked. He's taking this seriously, but he has a little bit of attitude about it, and I really appreciate that. I loved Raiden. His introduction was cool. He was talking mess to Liu Kang.
That's what I liked.
He's like, show me how you're going to fight in the tournament. And Liu Kang, thinking about it, he's like, oh, don't tell me you're afraid of a simple beggar. And then just flipped homeboy. I love Raiden. Raiden was great. I really enjoyed Kano, though.
Kano, okay.
He wasn't my favorite character in the movie, but that actor playing as Kano was perfect. And
definitely.
I guess, and like, that's what I heard. Like, the the reason in the games they made Kano more Australian based off of this actor's performance. Because beforehand, there wasn't, a lot of voice acting or anything. He didn't really have a personality in the first game. But like this actor's performance of Kano shaped the voice acting in future games when they started including voice acting and story modes and all that. And I thought that was really cool. And it's just a testament to that dude's
Kano.
performance. I thought he was great. It's Kano.
I think so too. This is twice, and another like I didn't really care for the remake or the reboot of the Mortal Kombat movie, but I did enjoy Kano's performance in that one and this one. It's a close race on both of them. Even Sonya Blade's acting ability on the second one worked for me on the reboot in a sense. But I did not like Liu Kang. I did not like any of the other characters within that. But anyways,
that's a whole nother thing.
You're right. There's a whole other battlefield. But yes, Kano being Australian works, especially when he's sitting there eating some chicken. This big old huge chicken bone. You see Goro over there, the introduction to Goro, because we're wondering what Goro is going to look like. And I remember seeing this in magazines where you see them and you see the making of it where it's like puppeteers operating the bottom arms and everything, but you don't care either because it works for that level, and you're seeing how
cool.
tall he is.
So tall, so cool. I loved Goro. Goro was tight. That feast scene though, where both the banquet and when Kano was eating, that always gets me hungry. I'm just like, I wonder if they cook good food there.
That's what I was wondering too as a kid, because I'm like, I could go for chicken right now.
It's just like Outworld's planning on invading. Like, do you think they care to have good cooks? Like, they're feeding everyone from Earthrealm. Do you think they're just like, nah, we're gonna spike this wine?
They might have Gordon Ramsay in the back. They might have stole Gordon.
It's an evil Gordon Ramsay.
Right.
Cook this chicken right or I'll steal your soul.
This is raw.
Donkey.
But yeah, I could definitely tell you this. The food makes me hungry in this. Whenever he's eating and he's talking, he's drinking the wine that they have. He's enjoying himself, and then Shang Tsung is like really getting angry at him because he's supposed to be antagonizing Sonya, and here he is just eating up all his food. So I thought that was actually pretty funny to actually see that. But I liked how they tease Katana in this, and then they're trying to look for Katana. And I like the little tunnel scene where it's like, she went this way, Johnny Cage. She went this way. How do you know? I can smell her perfume.
I smell something. Bullshit. that was a cool scene. I liked how it was filmed. Just kind of just how lost they were. They're walking down and it's just rotating all around. And I'm like looking down each hallway, like I'm kind of tripping out. I don't know if they snuck Reptile in there where you can see him in the background running around, or if that's just my eyes playing tricks on me. But that scene always scared me as a kid. When Liu Kang goes off by himself and like you can slightly see the motion of Reptile like kind of backing against the wall, and Liu Kang's like, what is it? Reptile, we'll get to him later, but savage for that. I'm like, what a jerk.
Yeah, definitely. But okay, I like the angle whenever they're going through the tunnels where you see that shot where it kind of pan angles up and you see them. That part,
the bottomless pit.
I really love that
computer-generated pit.
Because it reminds you of the video game of the second one where you're powering up to try and beat other contenders. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting on how they actually play that narrative as well.
That's cool. I was easy to please when it came to this movie. That it was all cool. I can memorize pretty much every scene. I've seen this so many times. I like, and I love the part when I keep saying I love the part. I love the whole movie. So when I say I love the part, you'll never know what part I'm going to talk about because I could talk about any point in the movie. And then when they get to back to the throne room, Goro's throne room, but no one's there, and then all the the guards show up to fight and they starts playing the Mortal Kombat.
Combat.
I'm like, everyone's fighting. Let's go. Oh, so much fun.
I love that scene, and it always gets you amped up and excited and stuff. The Mortal Kombat theme song is hands down one of my favorite theme songs.
So good.
Matter of fact, I was listening to it before we even started the podcast. I was like, yes, this is going to get my energy up. This is what's going to amp me.
I listen to this every day. It's downloaded a couple of times on my phone.
I owned the cassette tape back when I was in the 90s.
let me just record this real quick.
I was like Star-Lord, man. But yeah. But here's the thing, though, too. Okay. So I like how Johnny's actually busting Liu Kang's balls, though, too. He's basically telling him, hey, look, Katana's like 200 years old. She's not into you, dude.
10,000 years old.
Oh,
so
right.
What? Liu Kang did not care. He was like, nope. No. That's my future queen. I'm go holler at her.
That was a side mission. Hey, from the revenge story.
I'm an adult. She's a much older adult. It's fine. I'm like, all right, Liu
Talk
Kang.
about a senior citizen discount.
Yeah. Do I get a discount? I'm 10,000. Wow. Yeah, sure. Exactly. I can't imagine living for 10,000 years and still being considered young like Katana is. That must be annoying, but time probably feels different for her.
That's true. I didn't think of it like that.
And then we get to the start of the tournament. And as much as I love that first fight between Liu Kang and the random dude who I really love, just all the noises he was making. He was cool, but I'm just like, wait a minute. Is he from Earthrealm too? Like, or is he from Outworld? Like, how does this tournament work? Is there a like, that's the thing. That's one complaint I have about this movie. They don't explain how the tournament works. Because as far as I know, this dude that Liu Kang's fighting is from Earthrealm. Because when Liu Kang beats him, Shang Tsung steals his soul. So I'm like, oh, well, he must be from Earthrealm and Shang Tsung's killing him. But you don't really know. It's just people are just fighting and then the tournament's over. But
well, they're just body counts at this point.
Yeah. It was like I didn't care that much, but it was just one of the things I thought about. But that was a cool fight scene. Like, shout out to that random dude for
rest in peace, random dude.
Rest in peace, random dude. I thought it was so cool when he did like a lion's roar out of nowhere and then like kicked Liu Kang's staff in half. I was like, oh, this guy's cool in my book. I hope he doesn't die. And he's dead. There he goes.
And the thing that I laugh about is, even though we're only introduced as one character one time, whenever this one guy's fighting Goro, and you can tell that there's a friendship between Johnny Cage and him, and then Sonya.
Arlene.
Yeah.
Arlene, that's his name. I remember his name.
Thanks. I appreciate your Wikipedia knowledge of the character's name. I do appreciate that. But here's the thing. We're only introduced to him for like 5 minutes and he's dead. Yeah. And there was a delayed reaction to Johnny because, okay, first you have Sonya going, no! And he's like laying on the ground. And then when we hear Shang Tsung, he goes, your soul is mine. And then here comes Johnny going, no! I'm like, dude, you should have already said that when he was first on the ground.
You're a bit late on that. No. That's when it was. Well, no. This is the first time it happens, but it happens again later. Shang Tsung, after Goro beats Art, says flawless victory. And I'm like, no, it's not. Art kicked Goro a few times. He hit him a lot. A flawless victory means he didn't get hit at all. Shame on you, Shang Tsung. This is your tournament.
Well, that's right. It's his tournament, so he can make his own rules. So he was actually...
That's true. But still, no. It's the principle of things.
Right. Exactly. We have to... You know what? We have to keep straight to the politics of Mortal Kombat.
Flawless
in the rule books.
No, it's not.
And then he comes out and says, really your soul is mine. Yeah.
That would suck to get your soul stolen. I liked Arlene. I liked Arlene. I thought that's how you have a new original character inserted into a story without taking up any of the spotlight from the characters actually in the game. Like he was introduced, he's like, "Hey, I'm friendly," and everyone's like, "Cool." And he's like present, but he's not saying anything, he's not doing anything. And I liked him. He was anytime he did talk, it was always something nice. And I'm like, I like you, Art. You can stay. And they do kill him. And I'm like, I'm sorry, Art, but that's your purpose. If you're a new character in this world, you have to die. I'm sorry. You have to be the cannon fodder. But thank you for being nice. And that's like that's the only time I'm okay with original characters being made for live action adaptations. It was just like, hey, we're just having this guy to show you how crazy strong this other guy from the games is. So I'm like, good job, Art. We miss you. Sorry, your soul was stolen.
My bad. It's
My
like,
bad.
oops, my bad. But I also, so now let's talk about the Scorpion fight versus Johnny Cage match, because I thought this was hands down one of my favorite matches, and I still remember seeing that scene where you see the claw come out of Scorpion's hand, and then he goes, "Get over here," and then
it starts chasing it. Like, oh, it's a living thing. The opening of that fight was just showing Johnny Cage walking through the forest and then just Scorpion there. I was like, that was so cool. The fight can stop now. Like you can stop it there and it'll be one of the coolest things of the movie.
Agreed, because it just shows you how haunting and menacing Scorpion is, and then to see it being played out, and then he winds up missing Johnny, and then next thing you know, they're over into the portal, the other realm that is actually
Hell.
part of Scorpion. Yeah, it's in hell
or the Nether Realm or something.
And I love this whole entire thing where you have a character that thinks that they're safe in their own realm, which is Scorpion's realm, and then what does Johnny do? He turns that realm upside down on its heels, and the way that this fight choreography works, it lands pretty well to me.
The choreography is fantastic.
Yeah. Because
Sorry, I'm excited.
No,
go ahead.
No. You go on ahead.
No, I was just saying, I love like there's like so much like little details in it that I really enjoy. Right before they go to hell, right as Johnny tries to kick him, if you pay attention, you can see like a fadeaway of Johnny. Like there's like multiple of him. That's like kind of like him doing his special move from the games. I don't know what that, like a mirage thing where it's like,
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about. There's like a glimpse of that. I was like, that's the thing. I loved
fanboyed hard at that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. He just did the move. He missed, but he did the move. And I thought it was so cool when like it gives you I like how the movie gives you a feeling of the space around. Like anytime they enter an area, gives you a look around. So Johnny Cage is looking around hell, let's just call it hell, and then suddenly Scorpion's behind him. It's like, welcome. I'm like, that's nice of you, Scorpion. At least saying like, hey, welcome to my house. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you now. And like talk about the choreography, and it's like that's with every fight scene in this movie, how it goes on beat with the song that's playing. And that like is just like, oh, at this part of the song, Scorpion is kicking Johnny in the face. I remember it. And it just all worked. Like the choreography, the music just all works together. So just so perfectly. And there wasn't a lot of cuts in between attacks, So like you can genuinely see like the dudes actually doing the moves. It was so cool. And then when Johnny Cage is trying to jump up high and Scorpion's like, get down here. Just kicks it over.
That's my favorite part, though, whenever he finally gets up on the bamboo and then Scorpion goes, get down here. And then he winds up kicking him down. And then we have this one scene being played out where Johnny winds up doing like an Olympic gold medalist. He winds up swinging over and over and over again. And then he kicks him.
In my face. I'm like, he is concussed. He might be a ghost specter thing, but he is definitely concussed because he was on the ground for a hot minute after that. He's like, oh,
It's like, yo, I need a minute here,
I
okay?
need a minute. Go ahead and finish your flips. That hurt.
But then you have that, and then finally he winds up dying by, and I'll let you go on ahead and do the flawless victory.
Oh, yeah. Well, not flawless because Johnny Cage was just getting whooped on, but when Scorpion just rips his face off and starts breathing fire from his mouth. Oh, that's so, oh, that looks so cool. Even, even for today's standards, I understand 1995, they did what they could with what they had. I thought it looked so cool. And I was confused. I wasn't confused. I just confused myself. What happened? My brain. Sorry, it's been a long day. My brain was just like, "You're confused now." I'm like, "Am I?"
Oh, like God is just playing The Sims with you, sir. That's all.
Yeah.
He's like, now you're confused.
My brain is telling me, "Hey, you're getting too excited, bud. Chill out."
Like, it's okay. But I do like the fact that you have like the little autograph picture after he gets Johnny winds up kicking his ass, and he's like, "To my friend."
I'm like, yes, there it is. That's what he does. That's a Johnny Cage thing.
Which I was so happy that they put that in there. And then, like you said, whenever the Scorpion winds up ripping off his mask and you see the skull breathing out the fire, I'm like, yes, they got a lot right with that.
Thank you. I appreciate it when live action adaptations just take what's in a game and put it on the screen. I appreciate that. And they like make it look good. Like this made it look good. It didn't feel out of place. This worked. I'm like, this is about the point where Scorpion's like, okay, I'm done with this guy. Let's light him on fire.
Oh, let's talk about the Sonya Blade and Kano fight. I'll let you do that one.
Oh, I love Kano. I love Kano. He is so great in this movie. And that was a cool scene. It was just Sonya Blade is just like, nah, whoever's coming through that door, I'm gonna whoop him. And then Kano's just blowing her a kiss. I'm like, uh-oh, he's dead. I thought that was a cool fight scene. I thought they made Sonya a little too wimpy at first. She was doing a lot of whimpering. And I'm like, no, you Sonya Blade, you don't whimper like that. That was my only like, and they kind of do her dirty at the end of the movie too.
Yeah.
But I am glad that she is like squaring up with him, beating him up, and then finally like wraps her legs around his neck. He's like, "No, Sonya, don't. Oh, give me a break." Okay. I'm like, yeah.
I love that scene. I love the fight choreography with that one. And it also feels just like the outside arena that you got within the video game itself. So you have a little bit of the tip of the hat of the video game at the same time. So they do acknowledge what the fans want with that. And I do agree with you. At the very beginning, yes, she's not the damsel in distress. She's a tough woman. She has some type of stance against men and stuff like that too. That's something that I really liked about it. But then you get into the dazzle and distress at the end, which I have an issue with, because I'm like, so you go from being strong, then you go into kind of being whimpering in the tournament, then you go into being dazzle and distress. So you go strong, weak, and weaker. I wish that they would have actually done something more for her.
Yeah, that's just what movies do to women, especially in this time period. It's like, oh, women are meant to be rescued. They're not meant to be the hero. And obviously there are some exceptions, but more so than not, it's just I would have preferred it even if Kano like hit her, she was just like, oh come on. Like, no, he murdered her partner. Like, the backstory of Kano and Sonya is Kano was an informant for the special forces, and he led them into a trap, and he murdered Sonya's like homie. And so she wants this dude dead. She's coming for his head. She ain't gonna fall down, collapse just because he punched her.
She wants revenge.
Yeah.
And she wants blood on her hands. She doesn't care how she does it. And then you're gonna tell me that she's gonna just whimper?
She's just gonna get knocked down from one punch. Like, no, like Sonya is a better fighter kid. But that's me being, nitpicky. It's a
Me
'90s
too.
movie. Still a lot to they still
Just
haven't
still
learned
a
a
lot
lot.
to unpack and a
Still a
lot
lot
that
to
we
learn.
love.
We're getting there. It was a different
Right.
time.
Different time. But yeah, then you have where basically you have Johnny Cage challenge Goro right after the fight with his friend that died. And I like the fact that you have him fight the most cocky fighter fighting this big, huge monster-like character. And Raiden calls him out on it. He goes, "You know that you're being too cocky right now, to the point where you could probably die." Rest in peace, Pedro Pascal in Game of Thrones. But but yeah, um, but yeah, he's basically just saying, "Look, man, you're being a little too cocky. You need to go on ahead and simmer down because you just ruined the whole entire thing for the tournament where basically it wasn't supposed to be you that was going against Goro. Now you're having to go against him." But I understand from a certain standpoint, from Johnny Cage's point, we have to knock the biggest mother effer out.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to knock him out first before we get to the. That's what I got out of it.
I haven't thought of it that way, and that makes more sense. And I think I appreciate that better. I think they could have driven that point home because, like, Johnny Cage's weakness, according to Raiden, was that he was so desperate to prove himself that he'll rush into any fight just to do so. And then he goes and rushes into a fight with Goro, and Raiden's like, he's learned. At least one of them's learning something. So I was like, is it because he's not doing it for his ego? He's doing it to protect his friends. That's what I was thinking. He's
That's
like,
what I was thinking.
he feels some type of way for Sonya, and he's friends with Liu Kang. He doesn't want Art to die, so he's doing it for his friends. That's what I saw of it.
And
I
it's
think
kind
they
of like
coulda,
a Rocky kind of beat to it, where basically, because I was waiting for someone to say throw in the towel when his friend was about to die, but
the towel. It's Mortal Kombat. There's no towels.
Oh, weird.
Towels don't exist in Mortal Kombat.
But yeah, that's what I got out of it. Is like, look, right now, Gore's the biggest mother effer out here. We got to do right. We got to go on ahead. We have to send a message. What message better than to basically kill him, which is the prince. So I like how it opens up. You have the split that Johnny does. He punches him in the balls, and then
he's like,
and then I like how he just like shakes his hand and he goes, "Ow!" Like it was like balls of steel or something.
I wonder. Okay, no, my brain's taking me to a place.
Do not go.
I probably shouldn't go. I shouldn't go to this place.
But I like how he runs up to this mountain, and it's a callback once again to the video games, and it's just them fighting on the edge of a mountain, duking it out, and then finally,
Goro basically getting jumped. It wasn't really much of a fight. He just got jumped. Those are $500 sunglasses.
Sold.
It just jumps. I'm like, oh.
How dare you break those? How dare you break Johnny Cage's sunglasses?
$500. I'd jump a four-arm dude too.
Same here. I'll jump a mofo.
For all our viewers watching, if you get attacked by a Shokan, just hit him in the genitalia and then run away and then wait for them to chase you and then jump them. And you got him.
Exactly.
I like the face Goro makes. When Johnny Cage pops out, Goro's just like, huh? The animatronic face, huh?
The facial expression on Goro's face is hilarious.
Oh, and then when Goro's like hanging off the ledge, Johnny Cage with like the most epic line. This is the part where you fall down. I'm like, wow, that was beautiful. Oh, I loved how you did that. Call back to the beginning. So great. That was great. I loved it. Goro was cool. I liked how he looked. It was obviously like a puppet animatronic thing, but that was really cool. Apparently, the voice actor for Goro was the same guy who's the voice actor. I believe he's the voice actor of Green Lantern in the Justice League cartoon, and of I forgot the Jamaican guy's name in Futurama. I think it's the same voice actor. That made me so happy when I discovered it. But there is a fight that we missed. There's a couple that we skipped over. Liu Kang and Katana. Talk about sexual tension. I mean, a little bit forced. It's a bit forced, but I don't know. Katana probably saw all those muscles. It was like, we don't get that in Outworld, so I'm gonna have to switch sides real quick. and then and then we get and then they have Sub-Zero to fight Liu Kang and
Yeah,
Sub-Zero. Oh,
the
once it
Sub-Zero fight was hands down one of my favorites as well. Anytime when you have ninjas fighting,
ninjas fighting.
It's always going to be a great fight.
Absolutely. And like once again, they do a great job of setting up the stage. It's like, all right, it's in the room they had the banquet in. And it's just how epic Sub-Zero was walking down the stairs. I'm like, that's a sexy entrance right there. Real quiet, that no one's saying nothing, nothing flashy. He just walks down the stairs and then squares up. I'm like,
That's the way you do it. That's the way you bring someone down.
he's like, all right, we got beef. Let's squash it right now.
But yeah,
I thought it was so cool when he gets kicked by Liu Kang and he's like laying on the ground, and then he just does the slow head turn with the music. Do 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 do. I'm like, oh, this soundtrack is awesome, and they time it with the movie so perfectly. I loved it.
same here. I thought the soundtrack is fantastic. The fight with that is definitely one of my favorites. Then then after we wind up having the Goro fight, you have basically Dazzle and Distress Sonya Blade being taken in by Sang Song, and basically he doesn't want anybody to follow him, but they're gonna follow him anyways. And then Raiden goes, "I like how there's like, where is he taking her? Where I cannot go."
And then I can't go there. I can't go. I know there's rules. Well, I mean, Raiden can go.
He just chooses not to.
He just can't do anything there.
He's like Mr. Feeney from Boy Meets World. He's like, I'm here to teach a lesson, and I cannot go with you on this.
Yeah, I can just show you the door.
Right.
There's the door. Yeah, they did Sonya dirty.
Yeah, they did.
Like, I know you need a reason for them to go to Outworld to fight Shang Tsung. I was just like, oh, you gonna have Sonya be the damsel in distress? Like, it's Sonya Blade. She's just gonna shoot. You can't shoot Shang Tsung, but I don't know. They could. I wish they had done something different, but I liked it when they went to Outworld. That weird gooey portal. Ooh, good old 90s CGI, whatever that.
The Stargate CGI that we had back then.
That scene, when I was a kid, that scene always made me want Jello. I'm like, I wonder if that portal tastes delicious because it's all gooey and it just grabs them. And I was just like, if I was in that portal, I would just eat. I wouldn't be able to fight. My stomach would hurt. I'd have too much Jello. Portal Jello. Probably not good for me.
No, definitely not. It'll send your stomach to another dimension that you never know where you're gonna go to. But okay, so I like the Elseworld world that we get, which is very apocalyptic kind of world.
Outworld.
The Outworld city, and it actually looks like an Escape from LA kind of vibe from it, just by the setting alone. But it's a very apocalyptic.
They don't put money in infrastructure there in Outworld.
No, that's, you can definitely tell the budget did not go to this world.
Shao Kahn doesn't pay for construction; he just pays for combat.
Exactly. But I could see construction workers. So, do you want, Shao Kahn, do you want to have a big skyscraper, buildings like the Twin Towers or something? No, we don't need that right now. We don't have money for that. I don't need it.
Just get me a throne and some boxing gloves.
I'm good to go. But then you have Reptile and the fight with that. And did you like that battle? I'm just wondering.
This is my favorite fight in the whole movie. Just how it starts, like this is like, I personally love the build up between these two. Like, this is the only fight. This, besides Liu Kang and Shang Tsung being fights, like, they also were building up to Liu Kang and Reptile, because Reptile had some issue with Liu Kang. He had he was constantly there, always following him. And I thought it is corny, but I thought it was so damn cool when Liu Kang throws Reptile into the statue and it like traps him, and all of a sudden the statue starts turning into Reptile, the
Oh,
ninja, and you just hear the voice Reptile. Like, I thought that was so cool. It might, people might think it's corny. I thought it was so cool. I'm like, thank you. I know what his name is. Yeah.
I definitely love it.
And then proceeds to kick Liu Kang through like 4 feet of brick wall.
He kicks him through the brick wall. Then he winds up taking a piece of the brick wall or something and basically twirls around this big thing that looks like a seesaw. I don't even know how to describe it, to be honest with you.
That whole fight was crazy, and I liked how Reptile kept making like hissing noises. Doing, I'm like, oh yeah, you did that because you're a lizard. That's your thing. Oh, and that the song that plays for that, like that's the song that plays at a nightclub. You just dun, 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 dun. I was like, I'm dancing along to the fight scene. I'm like, hey, here we go. And then when Liu Kang does the bicycle kick, there's the
I love that.
I was like, that's from the game.
Hey, I remember seeing that for the first time in the theaters, and my friends and I were high-fiving ourselves, and we're just going insane with it. Like, we just kept on, like, you know how you high-five someone and just overly do it? That's how we were doing. That's exactly how we were.
It was so cool.
It was. I remember my brother teaching me that move. He is not a big gamer, but he taught me that one move, and I just kept on doing it.
That honestly used to make me laugh every time as a kid when I would watch my sister play the Mortal Kombat games. It was the voice acting for the bicycle kick was always consistent.
And then he kicks him out of the through a wall, and then he winds up once again landing outside, and then
turning back into the thing with all the bugs. And I was like, oh no, you don't. And
don't.
Gang like curb stomps him. Do you think Reptile had a heart attack after being kicked in the chest so many times?
I think I would. I'd be like, you know what? I'm just done at that point.
Like, I wonder, like, obviously, if any Mortal Kombat character did any move on me, it would be fatal, even just a simple punch. But I'm lightweight curious on how painful a bicycle kick is. Because I don't feel like there's a lot of power in those kicks. It's because, you can't really push off of anything except your chest. But physics is
your legs. But
sorry, no. My brain is taking me down this nerdy spiral.
No, it's fine. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, but then you wind up going into where the temple is, and then Sonya is in a BDSM outfit, which I don't know why, and she's also chained up. I think he has a lot more. I think Shang Tsung is a little bit more than just wanting to do combat.
They gave him the rapey vibe.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I could believe Shang Tsung would be rapey. Like, it's not far-fetched, but
no.
I don't need that in a movie. You can
I get the fact that they're going for like the medieval kind of fantasy kind of vibe, like Conan in a sense or whatever. But it just doesn't work for this kind of thing. But my favorite line that Sonya says, "My friends will come and save me," and he goes, "Oh, we're already here. We're here." I remember in the theater seeing that part, and I remember a girl in the back of me. Normally, it would bother me as a kid too, someone talking and saying the lines, because this person probably saw it twice already. Because we're here.
It's probably my sister. You probably saw it.
Might have been. You know what? I let her go on a whim. She was fine. I didn't yell at her as a kid, so she was good. But I just remember being geeked out at that line. It's like, we're here. And then they unmasked. It was definitely a great line. And I was being excited. I'm like, okay, it's about to go down now. And then, I don't know what it is with Shang Tsung always wanting to challenge Johnny Cage.
He was just trying to go for the weaker people.
Right.
He didn't want that smoke from Liu Kang.
No. He knew what was going to happen. He was going to bring that fire. But he didn't want that fire. But Liu Kang's like, you know what? Nah, you're gonna get this fire today. So
No. We boxing now.
yeah. And I like how he goes, no, you're not going to fight this battle for me. I'm stepping in. I have reasons to be here. And I like how he actually announces it. And then you realize, oh, I'm the one who killed your brother.
I'm Liu Kang, descendant of Kung Lao. I'm like,
And then,
yes, you are. Yes, you
then
are.
you
King.
also have the 100 souls that pop out of the floor as
That
well.
was cool.
Yeah.
The souls of the 1,000 servants, slaves, and they all just bursting out. That was so cool. I love that scene. And I'm like,
Me
that's
too.
kind of cheating. I don't think you're allowed to do that, Shang Tsung. But Shang Tsung cheats all the time, so it's fine.
Right.
It was cool. It was cool.
But then you get the whole entire sequence where he shapeshifts into his brother because he's losing. And
That was trippy.
yeah.
That was I remember showing this movie to my wife for the first time years ago. And she's like, that's totally, wait, he can do that? And I'm like, yeah, he can do that. That's that touched my soul a little bit. I'm like, no, Liu Kang. But I like the whole spiel Liu Kang yells at him. Chan
Me
chose
too.
his own path. Every man's responsible for his own destiny. Shang Tsung killed my brother. You're mine. I was like, oh, that scared me as a kid. Just like I always knew it was coming. Just all of a sudden, you're mine. I'm like, oh no. That's a very old face.
Right? But then the spikes come out from the ground. Then Liu Kang winds up kicking him down the basically he winds up making him fall on the spikes with the fireball that he has.
Fireball, kind of. Almost fireball.
Right. But still, it made me excited just to have a little bit of tip of the hat to the fireball, just to give it that little nod, which I was happy about.
Mm. That's where Liu Kang says flawless victory. And I'm like, no, Liu. He was beating your ass that second round.
Even your brother would say, your ass got handed to you.
He was like, ooh. He like elbowed him in the back. And I was like, that hurt. That would be it for me. And then he slammed his face into the ground. I'm like, that's a wrap. I'm done.
Yeah.
You hurt my nose. I quit.
Right. It's like, look, I'm just going to play here, play dead, do whatever you want, get my soul. I don't care.
That's why I'm not the chosen one.
Same here. I'm the lazy one.
I get punched in the arm too hard. I'm like, nope, I don't like this.
Exactly.
Alex, you can't leave.
Then after that, you have this funny thing that happens. It winds up going into this music of this happy music, which kind of feels like the Cranberries. And at first I thought it was the Cranberries playing, so I had to Google it. So the way I got my notes right, I'm like, wait, that wasn't the Cranberries after all. Because, in every 90s trailer, there's always that one Cranberry song that they play. And I thought for some reason that they played it for this one scene. And it wasn't that song. So I'm like, okay, good. I'm glad that I didn't mess that part up.
They avoided it.
But you have Raiden, who's actually a proud father. He goes, you learned your lesson. I am proud of you.
Yeah, I guess you knew it would end this way. I didn't have a clue. And then Shao Kahn shows up. You weak and pathetic fools. I've come for your souls. I'm like, oh, that's so cool. It's too bad they never made a sequel. My wife was just like, oh, so there's a second one. I'm like, no, they never made a second one. No. I don't recall a second movie.
What should be on Google? Based off of this right here, on IMDb, there's Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Yeah, it was annihilated. Yeah, it was Annihilation.
It's called Annihilation because it wasn't real.
It was the Matrix.
It was the Matrix.
But all in all, this film is one of my favorite.
Sorry, I forgot. I want to talk about when Shang Tsung dies and all the souls.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
And Chan shows up. I cried. Every time I see that scene, I cry. It's just like, man, that's his brother. He was trapped, and you know that Liu Kang misses his brother. Like that's a thing that's constant throughout the movie, and for him to finally have that, hey, It's all good. It's not your fault. I'll always be there for you. Always look over you. I was just like, oh, I love that scene. So that was a beautiful scene. Like thinking about it now. I'm like kind of tearing up. Kind of
Aw.
tearing up. I just love it. Okay.
That
I
scene
just want
gets me, but don't feel bad, man. Like that scene always gets me as well, and it hits me right in the feels to the point where I'm almost crying. I'm like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it.
not this time. Not this time.
No,
Damn it.
dude.
One single gangster tears.
But I have to say, I enjoyed watching this movie. I had a lot of fun revisiting this again, even though some of the effects don't, is not didn't age well. But the plot, everything that we wanted in a Mortal Kombat game was actually promised to us in the 90s, and this was it. They delivered this movie on a silver platter. And there's no wonder why this movie made over $100 and something million at the box office at that time.
Most of it was probably from my sister.
And me. But yeah.
And you and my sister gave most of the budget back.
But you know what, though? I remember going to school the next day, and that was all there was the conversation about Mortal Kombat. It was like every single person went to that one theater because it's in Louisiana. It's actually called, and it's Bogalusa. And this is actually where the paper mill is and stuff like that. But that cinema is no longer, that theater is actually closed down, and you can still, but I just remember having fond memories of that, and us all being geeked out and just being excited about, hey, did you remember that part with Reptile? Yeah, man, I remember that part. Hey, what about that part with Johnny Cage? Yeah, I liked it when he did the split and punched Goro in the nuts. I love that part. Me too. So it was like the part of the water cooler conversation at school. It made you feel like the cool kid sitting with your classmates.
Yeah.
That didn't have to wait 3 weeks later to see the film while everybody else is talking about it, because everybody went on that opening weekend.
All right. So what is your favorite fight in the movie?
Johnny Cage. Anything with Johnny Cage in it. But I would have to go the Goro fight.
Goro fight?
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it would be Reptile. Reptile, yeah. That was so great. So great. I love this movie.
For some reason I thought you would go with the Scorpion and Johnny Cage fight. Yeah.
That I loved all three of the ninja fights. Like those were so cool. But it's just how the reptile one was building up throughout the movie. And then I thought his entrance was the most epic. Just coming out of statue Reptile. Like, yes.
It had a slow build. That's something I really liked.
Game.
Yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. The slow build of Reptile was fantastic. And it's only an hour and 45-minute film, and it's quick. This is a quick movie. And that's something I really appreciate. It's not like a 2.5 hour movie where we're just sitting in the theater just waiting for this movie to end, even though we don't want it to end. Yeah. But I'm just glad that they gave us like an hour and 40 instead of pushing it to 2 hours.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have liked it. But
same.
Yeah, there's not much story that needed to be told. They pretty much got the first game figured out.
Exactly.
And then the second movie, they never got around to making that.
But no, sadly.
Then they did remake it last year, or not, in 2021.
It was during the pandemic that it got released out on HBO Max.
Yeah, that pissed me off. Not as much as the not real second movie, but
that was bad. Yeah, at least Liu Kang in this one looked like Liu Kang and didn't look like that he came from Wish.
At least like video game characters were the main characters in this game.
And that's Thailand.
That's a whole nother review.
Yeah.
I can't get into it right now. It's gonna be another hour. We're talking about this beautifulness.
So my question for you, my friend, is this. Okay, so what do you have going on for your channel? I know you released Robin Hood Men in Tights. I know you did your Creed 3 review. What else do you have going on for A-Town reviews?
Oh, well, I am currently working on a how to watch the Marvel Cinematic Universe series of videos for any newcomers that want to get into the Marvel movies but have no idea where to start. It's a huge thing, and there's so many movies and now TV shows that are part of it. So I'm creating this guide for easy to follow guide that anyone who's wanting to get into this universe can start. So those videos will be coming out soon. I'm trying to get them out in the next couple weeks. So be on the lookout for that over on A-Town Reviews.
Okay. And by the way, guys, we do have a merch store. Alex is actually wearing one of the merch t-shirts. So I just want to throw that out there. I never get a chance to actually talk about our merch, but yeah, we have merch. So get yourself a t-shirt from Movie Lovers Unite. We also have our team logo t-shirt too that we got, and it comes in different colors, and you can also get yourself a hoodie. Get that on our website. You can actually find that in the show notes below. You can also follow Alex and everything too, and the links below as well. In April, I do have a couple of shows coming out. I'm actually going to have True Romance. I'm going to be reviewing that movie. I'm going to be reviewing Almost Famous, and I'm also going to be reviewing at the end of the month, That Thing You Do. So those are the movies that I'm going to be reviewing for next month.
Thing I Do?
That Thing You Do. You know That Thing You Do.
Don't put my business out there.
I'm sorry, I can't help it. You stop.
Not live, John. Not alive.
Look, it's not my fault that you shouldn't. You're doing That Thing You Do. You should not be doing That Thing You Do out in public.
I'm sorry. I thought this was America.
It is America, but that doesn't mean that you can do anything you want. There is consequences.
There's consequences when you do That Thing You Do.
Exactly. So yeah, we're going to be reviewing That Thing You Do. I'm also going to be on the Sleevey G show coming up next week. So go on ahead and check that out. And always until next time, guys, have a great and safe night, and bye-bye.